I welcome you to this video. It's time to talk about Metasploit. We'll be using this tool in this section for so many things. We can use it to create a payload and other things which we're going to be saying. We're going to be using this tool to exploit different targets and their vulnerabilities. So it's a good idea to learn about it, then go ahead to learn how to use the Metasploit. So the first thing we can do now is to navigate to the Metasploit directory. So cd/user user. So I use tab and I hit enter. So now we are in the Metasploit framework directory. I want to see what's content of that directory. So I say ls. So here we see Metasploit framework. Then the MSF console is the executable file we're going to be using. But before then, this MSF Venom is used to create payload. So we're going to see how to do that. If we go to this modules directory by saying cd modules and tab and hit enter, then when we say ls, we're going to see 7 modules here and 1 readme file. So this is the exploit we talked about. Let's navigate to this directory and I'll say cd exploit and tab, enter, then ls. We can see that these exploits are split into different groups. We have Windows, we have Linux, we have Firefox, and Android, and the Apple OS. If we decide to open any of these, for example, if we check Linux, so we say cd Linux ls. These are all Linux exploits. Then if I take a step backward, cd ... then let's check Windows. So let's navigate to Windows tab, cd ls. Then we have more exploits under Windows. If we navigate to one of these, such as browser or FTP, we say cd ftt tab. There's an error there. It's http and ls. You see there are several of them, and these are all coded in Ruby language. So this is basically how to navigate through the different exploits we have on Metasploit framework. If you want to see the code of any exploit, you want to know more about it, all you do is just nano it. For example, let me go down here and I'll say nano. Let's try this. For instance, it doesn't work. So I'll type zn and I'll tab it. Okay, there is a problem there. I'll tab it, hit enter. Okay, this is not writable. Control X and I close that. I can try another one. Nano Webster. I'll tab it, enter. So this is the code of that Ruby exploit. If you understand the Ruby language, you could see actually what went down here. So I'm going to use Ctrl X to close this. So let's go back to something important now. So I go back to Windows, and again from Metasploit I go back to Modules, then ls. Let me clear the screen. So let's talk about Payload. So I go to that directory, cd tab ls. So we have adapters, singles, stagers, and stages. If we go to cd stagers ls, then we'll go to Windows, ls. Here you're going to see the reverse shell we talked about previously, such as this, and you can see that everything here is having an extension of RB, which means they were coded in Ruby. So all these are different ways of establishing a connection. So here we can establish a connection either by binding to a port or with reverse shell connection. So out of everything we have here, we'll be using this reverse TCP mostly. So take note of that. So let's go back to our modules, cd clear the screen, ls. Now let's talk about evasions. So we'll navigate to that, cd evasion tab ls. Here we have just Windows, so you go into that directory, Windows tab ls. So if you take a good look here, you will see that we have Evasion for Windows. So these things you see here, they are used to bypass Windows Defender. When there is a Windows update, some of these may not work anymore. Later in the course, we're going to see how to bypass antivirus in order to execute our payload, because if the antivirus detects our payload, then our payload will be removed or quarantined from the target system. So if we go back to modules and let's take a look at NOPs. We navigate to NOPs ls. So NOPs is an instruction given to your processor to do nothing. NOP means no operations. NOPs are useful in buffer overflow. They are used to allocate spaces in memory before the payload executes. If we head back to modules, ls, then let's look at posts. So what are posts here used for? Post modules are Metasploit post-exploitation modules, which means these are the codes you run after you've gained a section on a target to gather information or escalate privileges and maintain access, pivot, clean traces, harvest credentials, and more. So this is how much you can take from this video. I will see you on the next one.